another maker here on Twitch, Paradrago, because I'm bisexual. He made me a bi bee. This is just because I wanted something from another maker. So he actually also has a color change method. I'll show it to you here so you can see the little bump things you were talking about, but like super clean color changes again from him. And I never learned how to do this, but when you showed me, I'm like, oh, that's the content. We need this. I need to learn how to do color changes like that. It's too good.
Yeah.
It's too good. So let's talk about the mechanics of why a color change does that. It's because it basically dips down to the next color after an increase, and then we now jump up, and like, we're gonna fix that today, right?
Yeah, so you're working in a spiral most of the time for amigurumi. So when you go to the first row, or the first stitch of the next row is on top of the first stitch from the last row, so it's never gonna line up perfectly. So there's a lot of different ways you can do it to make it line up. I like to do this technique because in addition to making it line up, it also gives that clean line.
Okay. Panda says, good night. Have a good night, Panda. Thanks for swinging in. I appreciate you. It's impossible to do the math on how much you nerd and have it dyed at the right points for the color to do in whiter paint. Oh, God. Sweetling, that sounds ridiculous. Change the color at the right perfect time from dyeing it to calculate how much it would take to do this? Oh, my God.
I imagine you could, but that it would not be worth it.
That would not be worth the effort at all. That gives me anxiety thinking about that math, and I love math. Isn't it really cute, right? Have a good night. Okay, so I guess what we're gonna do is we're just gonna start crocheting and get to the color change. So we have to really, I didn't even get a stitch marker, did I? Oh, Jesus, I'm terrible. Where's my stitch markers? You're gonna beat me now. God damn it, Drew. It's not a race. Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna grab one of these. Oh, I did. Ha! I did have a stitch marker. I lied to you. I was like, I need to pull one out. Okay, so this pattern again, exclamation pattern. We're gonna work on a bee. We have to get to a certain point within the magic circle. I'm gonna do yarn under because why not?
Yep, that's what I do.
That's what I do too. 3, 4, 5, 6. And as we're crocheting this, so talk about some of the stuff and how did you learn this technique? Like, did you learn this? Did you experiment? Did you just pick it up on your travels or?
So there is a very talented crocheter named Louis, who is crochet. He's primarily on YouTube and he does lives every Sunday on YouTube. He sells crochet kits, which are amazing. And he has a YouTube channel with a lot of tutorials. And so I learned this technique from one of his videos and have used it ever since and never looked back.
And how long ago did you learn this trick for what we're doing today?
It was a year or two, I think. I think it was it was right when I started getting kind of big on TikTok because I remember like showing stories of it.
Totally fair.
Yes, sorry, I was counting.
No, it's okay. I was counting too. I was like, I actually get a pause while you talk.
I forget that I need it. And then here's my fancy stitch marker, aka a piece of string.
So I've thought about doing this more because I noticed some of the pockets that happen from these stitch markers if you're not careful.
Yeah.
Single increase next, that's fine. We can do that.
And what I like about the piece of string is that you can also count how many rows you've done, as well as making sure you know where the row starts and stops.
Okay, these are pro strats I do not know. I just literally keep count the circle every damn time, Drew. I'm terrible. I'm like, I've counted 1 through 10 and then I'm on row 14. Let's count 1 through 10 again because I have nothing else to do with my time and I should have marked it.
Sometimes I'll be lazy and I won't do it, but
totally, right?
Well, what's funny is when you knit, a lot of times patterns will tell you like knit until you have 4 inches or whatever.
Yeah.
And so when I first started crocheting, I was like, that's probably the same. You just crochet until it didn't occur to me that you could just make sure you do the exact right number of stitches each time.
Follow the math and everything else will follow is basically it. But at least these are just basic like magic circles. There's nothing crazy. It is a bee. I wanted to pick something that I know we could kind of demonstrate to folks and get to quick enough because if we all decided to make Davina the dragon, this might have been like a 12-hour stream that we just didn't have, the time for.
Pieces for Davina, and I think most of them get sewn together, so that would take a while.
Totally. Can I ask what you were using that little purple pin for? Yeah, so this is a little stitch marker. What it does is it keeps track of where I am in the round. So in amigurumi, we go in circles around and around and around and around. But at some point, if you don't mark where you were, you have no idea in the spiral where you're at. So it's called a stitch marker, and it keeps track of where the heck are we? Am I on stitch 16 in this row? Or am I on 21 or whatever the number? You know, it just helps us track what we're doing so that counting gets a little easier. Some people choose not to, which is fine. Normally don't go ahead.
Once we get to the stripes, you probably won't need a stitch marker because we'll be changing at the end of each row.
Exactly.
Doing something neat.
Single in the next two and then increase. Okay. Single, increase, single. Okay, so 2 increase now. That's fine. Are you ahead of me? I think you are. God damn it.
I just...
So quick. It's okay. I'll be there soon. Oh my God, I just tuned back in and your hats are amazing. Thank you. Yeah, we decided to put on our crochet. And by the way, you can take it off if you're overheating.
No,
I know it gets warm under these things. So, you know.
No.
And I thought I'd just go with a traditional bee. I thought about doing a zombie, but then I'm like, I think the yellow will show up. We'll matchy. And now let's talk. In all the time that you shared with us earlier that you had done these bees, you made them different beekeepers. How many bees would you estimate you've made in your life? If you had to put a number and guess.
It's definitely, I don't know if it's 1,000, but it's definitely in the high hundreds.
Holy shit.
I mean, maybe I'm overestimating, but probably like 400 or 500.
At least 1,000, maybe 500.
I've made at least 7.
Oh my gosh. Y'all are wild. At least 7, yeah, right? It's not a race as the competitive picks. I mean, I'm dealing with someone who's crocheted, you know, since he walked out of the womb. No. Much more years than myself. I made all the classic mistakes though when I started to crochet. Like I think the scariest part of crocheting for me was my thumbs were locking up because my grip and tension were so tight. It was physically causing me like locked thumbs and stuff. And I knew at that point, I was like, okay, this is not, everyone else is whipping through these and I seem to be forcing, like my tension as I look back at my first couple Ammies was just awful. Absolutely just way too much.
So I'm now a clover stan, so I use clover hooks. But before that, I was using boy hooks, B-O-Y-E, and I used to have a permanent like bruise on the palm of my hand from where the end of the hook would hit it.
Boy, hurts though. Some of those hurt.
So I would just have like a permanent dark spot.
Oh my gosh. All right, I'm only on 3 increase right now. What's the row where it actually starts to change?
So I think you've done 2 rounds of 30 after you get to 30.
Okay, so I'm at 2, 3, increase. And then I've got a couple more here. We got the Stream Raiders battle I'll get going up in a sec. Let me get my increase so I can count. Okay, cool. Is Pix a fire sign? I am a water sign, kitty kit. I am actually a Scorpio. Those cursed Scorpios. Am I right? God damn. Get the battle. And thanks again, everyone. I know, right?
If you had to guess for me, what would you guess?
Oh God, I actually don't even know. Oh my lord. Are you an Aries?
No.
I'm awful. Are you a Cancer?
I am a Cancer.
Why was that my first guess and I said Aries? I thought conversationalist and I don't know why I said Aries. My first guess was Cancer though. Yay, we're like super compatible.
No, water signs.
Water signs. I mean, it can be the clash and the storm. Let's be fair. Okay, Drew.
I'm also on the cusp of them.
Are you really?
Gemini. Yes. I'm the first day of Cancer.
Oh, wow. Okay, little cusp baby. Okay. Drew's gonna make 2 bees at this speed. Kev, you know, remember when we were friends before you got sassy, Kev? You know, remember those days? Okay.
Also, bees are what I used to make on live when I was on TikTok. So like this is like going back to my origins pretty much, where I like don't even have to think about it. I can
You've memorized this pattern, haven't you? let's be honest.
Yeah.
I know the increased rounds of what you're doing here, but like, god damn it. Me too, cusp, baby, unite. Yo, Sapphire's a cusp as well. There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm a cusp too, Sweetling. Well, picks get good and maybe you'll catch up. I don't know that that's a thing. I certainly don't know that that's a thing. We will try. We will try. Yeah, we got some gold up next if you want to play along. Place your units down. I'm just going to place Flying Rogue because why the hell not?
Why not?
All right.
I am Jay Cuny. So I learned to crochet from a book. And I knew how to knit previously. And when I knit, I hold my yarn like this with my right hand and I throw. I can never remember if that's continental or whatever the other option is for knitting. But when I learned to crochet, I tried to use my left hand and I just could not get the tension right. And since I already was comfortable in the right hand, I just made it work.
So you're used to throwing from knitting, which is why you crochet like that too, right?
Which is funny because a lot of people are like, I learned to knit too, but I do it right. And I'm like, what?
I do it right?
Well, we're not all you. So.
Oh, wow. We have 3 rounds to do and then we color change on the black? Oh, no, we have...
2 rounds if you're doing the special color change. If you're doing a traditional color change, you just do 3 rounds.
Okay, relax, Drew. I'm on round 6. Oh my god, teach me your ways. It looks so much more comfortable to me. Yeah, so Jay Cooney, one of my mods here, has been struggling to pick up and learn in crochet and how to hold and follow videos and things, and like you know, you see different ways of doing this, but it's tough for her to follow that stuff because she likes that, obviously, the show me in there. But show, if you could, with a fresh piece of yarn, how you wrap your hand there as I catch up to you. Like, how do you hold for folks to...
hand is naturally in this position when I crochet. That, and I have chubby fingers, so that is enough tension. So I just leave the yarn in between my pinky and ring finger, and then I go over the 2 middle fingers, and then I wrap it around this the index finger, and I use that as kind of a guide. So then when I go to crochet, I insert, and then you either wrap over or under and pull through, and that's, you just keep it that way. Because traditionally, when you do with left hand, there's a bunch of different ways to do it.
Wait, you can show and demonstrate left hand?
Yeah.
And right? Oh my gosh.
It's not good, but yeah, so that it's a lot easier to do yarn under with my method.
So when you were taught, was this the way you were taught, or you just figured it out on your own from what wasn't working?
Yeah, no, I learned from a book, and so I was like, I'm not doing that. I'm just gonna hold the yarn the way I know how, and then I dove in.
Onion says, I hold it differently every time. There's no rhyme or reason for... Yeah, it's whatever's comfortable. Like how I hold chunky yarn versus worsted can be very different versus yarn over, yarn under. But like I'm about the same in consistency, but I may adjust with chunky because I find it's just such a thick yarn to work with.
And if I'm knitting, sometimes if I'm knitting with like a finer, I will do like the extra wrap around the pinky just so I can really control the tension. But for crochet, most of the time, just having my hand curved is enough to keep the tension.
That works. It's really whatever works for you, right? And I know that's tough for people because there's all these like how to hold it and the correct way and the wrong way, and yarn under is incorrect, and there's all these stringent women online who like to bitch in social groups I've encountered that I'm no longer in, and it's like, I do what works for me. Why do people bitch so much about what they do is the right way, you know? And social's the worst.
If you're getting the results you want, then you're doing it the right way. Like,
oh, totally.
And also consistency. So if you try to, if you like yarn over better, just make sure you're always doing yarn over, or, you know, whatever. Just doing the same thing each time will affect the way it looks.
Totally. Kev says, I feel you, Jed Cooney. I'm learning the way Pix is holding the yarn. So I'll show how I do it. I'll pause here, let Drew motor ahead and finish the bee. I wrap around my pinky like he does, but I kind of wrap it all the way around once. And then I use my index finger here to sort of hold the piece, and it wraps. But that's my guide. I'm just holding it like this. Pinky, index finger, and then hold the piece and just go like this.